Hi, this is Raina. Thank you for joining me on my crochet channel. So Christmas is almost here, and how about crocheting a candy cane hat? I'm using the same pattern as my messy bun hat, so you're welcome to check that one out too. Only this time I'm using two colors, red and white, to make the stripes and also the faux for pom-pom. And my hat measures, it's about 9 inches from side to side when I measure the edge, and about about 7 inches long. And as for the skill level, I would say that it's intermediate. It does need some extra focus when doing the front post double crochet stitches, and also switching the yarn back and forth with every stitch. So let's first see the materials I'm using for the hats. And let me just show you how the hat looks inside. It looks pretty great. Could be another pattern. And you'll need 2 skeins of yarn. I'm using Caron yarn. The white one is Caron Simply Soft Party. It's called Snow Sparkle. It has this pretty sparkly thread woven through the yarn. And also using red Caron Simply Soft yarn. They're both acrylic, and size 4, it's medium weight. And I'm using a crochet hook size 5.5 millimeters. And I have this cute faux fur pom-pom with elastic loop. And later on I'm going to use that loop to attach it to the hat. Going to fold it in 2. And then also using a button to attach the pom-pom. And the size of the button depends on how big is the loop. So my button is a little less than inch in diameter. And so let's get started with the hat. And I start with magic ring. So here's my yarn tail. I put it across my fingers and then cross the working yarn over my index finger and make a cross. Then insert my hook through underneath the first strand and pull the second one through. Then take my finger out and make a stitch. And then make another chain, and now we need to half double crochet 10 times into the ring. So half double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all loops on hook. So 2 and 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the first 2 chains here in the beginning, I count as my first half double crochet. So that means we have a total of 11 on the first round. Now take your yarn tail and pull the loop, pull the ring tight. and finish the first round with the slip stitch into that second chain. And the second round, start with 2 chains, and now starting into the next half double crochet stitch, it's going to be another round of half double crochets, and make 2 into each stitch. So we increase in each stitch. 2 in the first one here, also 2 in the next, 2 in the next. So then you have a top double amount at the end, 22. I have 21 now, and then I will make my last half double crochet into that beginning space here, next to that beginning 2 chains, and finish the round again with a slip stitch into the second chain. The third round, we're going to make double crochet stitches starting with 3 chains, counts as the first double crochet, and we're going to increase in every other stitch. So into that next half double crochet here, I'm going to make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. In the next, I'm going to make 1. In the next, again 2. And in the next 1. So that way you will have 33 double crochet stitches on the third round. And I have 33 double crochet stitches now finished, but I'm not going to slip stitch into the beginning chain, because now we're going to join the white yarn. And we're going to begin with a slip knot. Take your hook out of that knot and insert it through the working loop on thread yarn, and then insert hook through that third beginning chain. And then also insert through the white slip knot and pull it through these red loops. And we are ready to now work with white yarn. And first make 2 chains. And so now from now on we're going to alternate the yarns with each stitch. So this needs to be a first double crochet. Usually it's 3 chains, but I need to join now my red yarn, so I'm going to bring that red yarn back up here. I didn't fasten off anything, and make that third chain with a red yarn. So the next stitch is going to be with red, and I need to make now a front post double crochet around that first stitch, which are the beginning chains here, this one. So yarn over, insert your hook from front to back around that post of that first stitch, bring it back up, then yarn over and pull the yarn through, and then make your usual double crochet stitch. Pull yarn through first 2 loops, and so here is where our switching of yarn happens again. So don't pull the red yarn through the last 2 loops. Instead, bring back, reaching back to that white yarn on the back here. I'm going to yarn over that one and pull it through my red loops. Now I can make my next stitch with white yarn. And so next one is going to be just a regular double crochet stitch into that very next double crochet here. So insert yarn through it, pull up a loop and pull through first 2 loops. And again, don't pull through the last 2 loops with a white yarn, but again, bring back your red and pull through the white loops with the red yarn. And next step, again, we need to do the front post double crochet around that same double crochet stitch that we just did the white one in. So this is the post. I'm going to reach and insert hook from front to back, right side to left. Bring my hook back up here, pull yarn through and pull it through first 2 loops. Same thing, now reach back to your white yarn and yarn over and pull through remaining 2 red loops with the white yarn. And this is how it's going to continue the whole way through. And because we're now making 2 stitches into each stitch around, we're going to double them, so you will have total of 66 stitches. And that's it for the increases. That's how we're going to end up, also 66. So here again, here's my white yarn. I'm going to start making a regular double crochet stitch into the next one. Pull through first 2 loops, and then instead of using white yarn, bring back my red and pull through the remaining last 2 loops. And then with the red, make a front post double crochet around that same stitch that you just did the white one in. So inserting hook below the space here, pull yarn through, pull through first 2 loops. Now leave those and bring back your white yarn. Again, start your regular double crochet into the next stitch, pull through first 2 loops, and then bring your red yarn, pull through last 2 loops. Again, let's make the front post double crochet stitch. So this is the one we need to use. It's easy to keep track because we need to work in each stitch twice. First we do the regular double crochet through those 2 upper loops, and then we do front post double crochet around the post. So we insert hook through the space around the post. And I also want to show you how I change my yarn so it doesn't get twisted. Can be difficult to be untwisting the yarn all the way. So I just keep my red yarn up here. So my last 2 loops I need to reach and get my white yarn. So I always bring my white yarn from under the red. So here it is. So let's do the next stitch. I'll show you. And now when it's time to get the red yarn, I'm gonna bring my red yarn over from on top. Keep this one down here. So that way they don't get twisted with each other. Again, now pull that red one back and bring your white yarn from down here, from under here. Make the next stitch, and now with the red, bring it back from up here. So repeat this all around and I'll show you how to finish and start a new round. And I'm almost finished. I'm going to now make my last front post double crochet with a red yarn. So it's this around this one here. Pull through first 2 loops, then change it to the white yarn on the back here, pull through last 2 loops, and then to finish the round I'm going to slip stitch into that second white chain. So that way it's going to be nice and seamless. And to start the next round, just repeat exactly the same. Start with 2 chains with white yarn, then bring your red yarn back up here and make the 3rd chain with red, and then make the, now we're going to make the front post double crochet around each red stitch. So because we're not increasing anymore. So that's how we are creating those nice vertical stripes. So there, just insert it through that post of that one here, and then do it the same way. Pull yarn through first 2 loops, and then change to the white yarn, bring it back from down here, from under the red, and pull through last 2 loops, and then make your regular double crochet into the white stitch, but also same way, switching to red when pulling through the last remaining loops here. And then again, next stitch is going to be around the red front post double crochet, and last 2 loops, bringing back my white from under and pulling through the loops. Then again, make the white double crochet, first 2 loops, switch back to red, pull through last 2 loops. Again, front post double crochet around the next red, first 2 loops with red, last 2 loops with white. So then now keep working the same way. Your hat is going to get wider as it grows, and make total of 16 rounds with the white and red stitches. So, and then we can make the edge of the hat. And here's my hat after 16 rounds, when I joined the white yarn and made the red and white stitches. So finished the last one with a slip stitch into the second beginning chain, and I can now cut off the red yarn, keep the white. We're going to make the white edge, and so for that, first chain 1, And now we need to go and make half double crochets into each stitch around, but we're not going to insert hook through these first upper loops, horizontal loops here, but this one back here. So the third one back here, so reach all around to this one and make your half double crochet in that one. So the white one, it's kind of like a, it's a smaller loop back here, so it may be a little hard to insert the hook through, but, and I know that first round is usually the hardest because that third loop is smaller than the upper loops. So, but we're going to work through all the stitches, and the remaining rounds will be much easier. You are also welcome to use half size smaller hook if it helps you. So let's finish this first round, and I'll meet you when I'm back here in the beginning. So I did actually switch to a 5mm hook because it got a little bit too challenging getting through these back loops. So this is much better. Just making sure I'm not doing it too tightly. So it's absolutely fine to do this, and so that our work is not so hard and a little bit more enjoyable. So this round was challenging, but now I'm finished, and I will now slip stitch into that beginning chain that I started with. I keep working with my 5mm hook because I feel it's okay. Checking my tension, and the edge can be a tiny bit tighter anyways. And so the hard work paid off because since we worked into those back loops, that created this beautiful loop edge here. And we're going to have a few more of them because we have 2 more rounds to go. So second round of edge, start with 1 chain again, and we're going to now make same thing, actually going to do the half double crochets into that back loop, but this time it's so much easier because these back loops were tight and small because we changed the yarn with each stitch, so it kind of pulled those loops tight. But right now you'll see this loop is fine to insert my hook through, so the work is much better. So finish this round, and then we'll have one last round to do. And I did my last half double crochet of this round, and I will finish again with a slip stitch into that beginning chain. And last round, chain 1, and instead of half double crochets, we're going to do single crochets again into those into the back loop. So just single crochet in each back loop all around. And finished my last round. I will end this with a slip stitch also into the beginning chain. And now ready to cut off the yarn and fasten off. And one more thing to do, let's attach the pom-pom. And to attach the pom-pom first, I'm going to turn my hat around. Then insert your hook through that magic hole. Mine is already quite tight, so here. And then pull the pom-pom loop through the hole. Next thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tie a knot. And so I'm gonna make sure it's quite tight so the pom-pom is not gonna be wobbly. And if you'd like, you can make another knot to make it more secure here. So here is my beginning yarn tail. I'm gonna pull it a little bit tighter around that knot so it won't go through. And now I'm using that same tail and the tapestry needle. I'm now going to sew my button here, and that's gonna give me some extra security to I'm going to wrap the loop around the button, and so it's gonna be extra secure with that. So just making sure the button is going to be in the middle here. I'm also going to make sure I'm not going to insert my needle through the loop, the pom-pom loop. So whenever there's a need, you can reach back here. You can even take the button off in case you need to wash the hat and take the pom-pom off. So you have an option to remove the pom-pom. Okay, so just a few stitches is quite enough. The yarn is strong. And so here I kept my loop on the side here, and I will wrap it around the button about 3 times. And so after each time here I twist and then wrap around the button. The last one is so tight. One more time here. So that way I'm really sure my pom-pom is nice and tight on top of the hat. And now when I lift the button and reach back here, I can see the loop, and I can actually pull it and start unwrapping around the button to remove it. So, and I don't think you need to remove the button for that, so that would make it easier. And this is how we make a candy cane hat with a pom-pom. So I have a written pattern on my website. Have fun with it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching and happy crocheting!